Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie, and today it's another installment of Alex's birthday.
Happy second week of my birthday.
I know. I did bring over early birthday presents.
Yes, it was much appreciated.
So they'll continue coming.
Just for everyone's knowledge, 2 of the birthday presents were magnets of pictures of us throughout the years. And it absolutely looks like we're married in one of them.
I mean, yeah. I don't expect anything else from us at this point.
Yeah.
So, get you a best friend that, people wonder about. But today we are discussing 2 more stories at the request of Alex for her birthday. These stories are Summer Ghost and Stranger. So we're going to go ahead and hop right in. I'm going to start out with Summer Ghost. This is a completed manga. We found it as a completed collection. So it's a single volume all together, which is great for your pocket. It is by Yoshi Nomi. This story is beautiful.
I loved this one so much. I picked this up again because I judge books by their covers.
I will say 10 out of 10 times I think this has worked out for us.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
There's like a new focus now on like the actual design and covers of books.
Yeah.
And it hasn't failed us yet.
No, it hasn't. And this one, I mean, it was the perfect size, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending did make me cry. I was apparently the only one there.
The only out of 2. It's 50-50.
I'm surprised, though.
Yeah. Okay, before we even hop into the story, do want to mention trigger warnings for this one. This is a very deep story, and it does cover a lot of really sensitive topics. So if you are triggered by any sorts of mention of suicide and depression, any sort of dark themes like somebody having been murdered, things like that, that does happen throughout the story. So just for everybody, it may not be suitable for all audiences, but I personally loved this story. So if you don't want to listen to this one, you can skip forward, but we will be diving in now. So Summer Ghost is a story that starts out with Aoi, who is, I would say, our main character, but there are kind of 3 of them. And there are some mentions. You see her holding a bus ticket, and she's wondering what it will be like to be a ghost. And in doing so, you see she's started to join this anonymous group of people who kind of want to go ghost hunting together. And they all end up meeting in person. She's a little reluctant and is kind of regretting it before they all meet up.
After she's already decided to do it, she's on the bus. And she's like, this could be a bad idea. I could be getting catfished right now.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, they're all going to be old, creepy men. And funny enough, as the 2 people show up, they are boys around her age. And they also kind of thought, oh my God, you actually showed up and you're not catfishing me. So, birds of a feather. But they had all heard rumors about a local ghost that shows up in the summer at this old abandoned airfield. And so they're going about their day just deciding how they're going to summon this ghost, what they can do to make sure that they can see it. They heard that it's attracted to light, so they buy sparklers. They even thought about buying like big fireworks to set off, and they're like, that's too strong, so maybe not. But they end up going out to this old abandoned airfield and just kind of getting to know one another. And one, you can see that this is the most fun that Aoi's had in a long while. Mm-hmm. She's almost thinking to herself like, wow, I have friends. This is interesting. She's not used to that. And as they light their final sparklers, they come in contact with and see the ghost. So
now, before we actually get into the story about the ghost, I have to ask, did you have something like this in your town? Like a story about if you go here, you'll see ghost or something?
Here's the thing. Maybe. I didn't hear the story because I don't seek that kind of stuff out.
Well, okay.
I was going to say,
maybe I seek it out a little more than you, but I did not seek this out. That information did come to me. Mm-hmm. There's a tunnel somewhere around town that if you go to it and you sit in your car and you turn your lights on and off, then a ghost is supposed to come.
And I will not be doing that.
Me either. I know people who did it.
Yeah.
I did not go with them.
Yeah, absolutely not. Here's the thing. There are probably, I feel like there's ghost stories everywhere.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to know what yours was.
Yeah. I was very sheltered. I was kind of a part of a household of like, be home by 10 o'clock or you're going to be grounded kind of situation. And I took it very seriously. So no, I didn't pursue any of that, but it probably exists.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into like some ghost stories from my town.
Maybe.
See, but I will say, as soon as I saw these 3 kids, I was like, where are their parents? Was my first notion. I'm like, where are these kids' parents?
I think that happens a lot, especially in stories too. Like you see high schoolers on their own on the bus. And I think that's like a non-American thing.
I think culturally, yeah, there is a lot of, travel from public transit and things that are a lot more accepted and available.
Yeah.
I wish it was more available here, but it's not. And I was just thinking, though, I'm like, it's the dead of night and these kids met up with strangers that they don't know in an abandoned airfield. Like, I'm just sitting there as a parent being like, oh, my kid would be in so much trouble.
2 of the parents don't know, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, sneaking out is also
Is a thing.
That high schoolers do. 50% of the people at this table did in high school.
We'll let the listeners guess which ones. But they do end up coming in contact with the ghost, and the ghost ends up kind of going towards Aoi first. Like, they all see her and are just in awe because they weren't really expecting it. And Aoi starts talking to the ghost, and she's like, oh, wow, you have look at you, you have all these friends. And Aoi goes, I just met these people. They're not my friends. What's it like to be a ghost? Almost kind of enamoring it. And the ghost, who introduces herself as Ayane, says that she has more in common with the boys than she thinks she does, because the only people who can see the ghost are people who are thinking about death.
Yeah.
So Aoi now realizes that she has this connection with the boys. The ghost immediately disappears, and they're obviously all stunned that they had this encounter. And Aoi starts to make more efforts to be involved with them and consider them friends. You do see that all 3 of them have their own complications in life and are all considering potentially harming themselves and potentially hurting themselves fatally.
Yeah. It's definitely got that coming of age, realizing that other people could be struggling too, and you can't just judge people based off what you see, because even though one of them looks like he's got, he's on a sports team, I think it's basketball, and he's super popular, and they're like, well, why would he be upset? And he's sick. Yeah. So he can't, that's why it's on his mind.
Yeah, he can't escape it, really, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we have Rio, who is terminally ill. He's been given, I think, 9 months to live at the start of the story. And he's keeping it from everyone. He doesn't want people to treat him differently. He doesn't want sympathy. He wants to feel like a normal kid. And he doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
So he's not accepting of it, but he can't get it off of his mind, which is why he was able to see the ghost. You have Aoi, who is relentlessly bullied in school. I mean, just the harshest, people throwing water on her, and even the teachers talking behind her back about how it's not that big of a deal and not doing what they need to step into that situation and help her. And she's feeling utterly alone.
Yeah.
And you then have Tomoya, who is seemingly just this great student, has a lot going for him. And the pressures that his mom puts on him to be the person she wants him to be and not to be who he in his heart feels. He wants to be an artist. He wants to do all of these things that he's passionate about, and he gets scolded and reprimanded at any inkling that he's not going to be studying or working hard in school.
Yeah.
And the pressures are just pushing him to a breaking point of considering something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have all three of these people going through very different situations, but at the same time, all mentally in the same place. So the three of them do hang out for a while, but things start to taper off. They're all dealing with their own situations. And at a certain point, Aoi and Rio are really pushing to try to get Tomoya to hang out with them, and he's completely ghosted them in the conversations. He's gotten to a point in his head where he feels more connected to and more curious about the ghost. And so he starts going out to this airfield by himself to go and pursue the ghost, ask what it's like to be a ghost, and really looking at it as a consideration for himself at that point. And Ayane, the ghost, tries as hard as she can to deter him from it. She's like, even if things are hard, you have things that are worth living for. And that's an option that you have that I don't. Like, you shouldn't choose for this. This will come for all of us eventually, but you should live in the present. And Tomoya makes it very clear he just wants something to live for. He's like, I don't feel like I'm living for myself. I want to do something where I feel like I've made my mark, and I don't feel like I'm going to do that with schoolwork. They go and she lets him experience being a ghost, and she says, you know, wish yourself to wherever you want to go. And they walk through an empty museum at night together, and he looks at these beautiful pieces of art, and he's like, I want something where even when I'm gone, I've left my mark somewhere. Mm-hmm. He kind of looks at Ayane as a hypocrite, because the theories that have been going around town is that this was a ghost who had, you know, fatally killed herself. And he says, who are you to tell me that I can't feel the same? And learns that Ayane did not commit suicide, but rather was murdered.
Yeah.
And her body was never found. So Tomoya is now very bent on making sure that he can solve this murder. He wants to find Ayane's body and help give her the closure so that she can pass on. But there is a time limit on this because Ayane only shows up during the summer. And so he basically only has like those months to figure this out and discover where the body is.
You also find out how she was murdered too. So she was hit by a car and then buried alive, which is horrifying.
Yeah, absolutely horrifying. And it was after an argument with her mom. And so she's like, my mom never got the closure, assumed I ran away. Mm-hmm. Who knows? But I mean, there were so many ends left open and absolutely horrifying. The whole thing, the whole situation. So at the same time, Aoi and Rio are really trying to figure out what's going on with Tomoya. And obviously they have their own lives that they're struggling with at the same time. You see that Rio also takes a break from talking for a while because he got really sick and he was bound to his bed and had to go and see doctors. And so Aoi is feeling very alone at certain points. And they end up just kind of organically running into one another. And Rio's like, oh, sorry, I ignored you. Kind of awkwardly because they've both decided to ditch school. And it's kind of then that they realize that something is going on with Tomoya. He's not exactly himself. They can't reach him. They're like, he doesn't want to do literally anything. And they kind of take it upon themselves to try to get him out of whatever hole he's dug himself into. But at the same time, you do start to see some contention between Aoi and Rio specifically because they start to learn why the other person is having such a hard time and why they were able to see the ghost in general. And so you have Aoi who says that she has specifically considered killing herself, and Rio who thinks of her as selfish and says awful things, tells her to go through with it and whatever else out of anger because he's just feeling so defeated at knowing there's no other way out for him. He's like, if I could choose it, I would be alive. And you would choose to not be. And how unfair is that? And he kind of, in telling her what he's going through, gives her a reason for living as well, and realizing that she's taking everything for granted. But at the same time, they realize how deep the depths are that Tomoya is in at this point. So they end up realizing that he's continuing to see this ghost. Ryo had accused him of it. He goes, "Stop seeing that ghost. You're going to get cursed." And they realize that that is genuinely what's happening. He's continuing to go to this airfields, and it is distancing himself from everything else in his life. He's getting in trouble with his mom for not focusing on school, and it's just plunging him deeper into hyper-focusing on finding Ayane's body. But the three of them do end up helping one another and search for the body themselves. Tomoya, after they do find the body on the last day of summer, realizes that a lot of the talk from Ayane is things that he's telling himself also, and basically has to make a choice because he spent so much time in this ghostly realm with Ayane to either be living or to not, and he chooses to live. And so you get to see Aoi and Tomoya and Ryu kind of work through their struggles, help the ghost find their peace, because in finding the body, they basically solve her murder. And in the very end, unfortunately, Ryo does succumb to his illness, and Aoi and Tomoya go back to the airfield and light sparklers to meet him the following summer because they had promised to see each other there later. And that's the end.
Yeah.
I'd reread it in a heartbeat. It was a very heavy story to read, but I loved every second of it. It was just beautiful. And the way that it showed all of the different struggles that everybody was going through, like, it just shows you never really know what's happening behind those closed doors and what somebody has happening in the background. I did not cry. I probably could have. But I was expecting it the entire time.
I knew that he was going to die.
Yeah.
But I guess it was more so that I didn't expect to see him as the new ghost.
Okay. Like, you just expected to see that he had passed away.
I think I expected the story to end before they actually show him being dead. And, like, you know that it's gonna happen, but they don't show it.
Yeah. It references it in a very interesting way because the summer ends up ending and you get to see, like, very little snippets of how Aoi and Tomoya's lives continue on from there, and you don't get to see Ryo's. And so the assumption is that he passed away. But then knowing that they went back to the field where they had all promised to meet again, and he's the summer ghost, does strike a different chord.
Yeah.
For sure. It was very heartwarming to see that in making it through their struggles, Aoi and Tomoya do end up being okay. Tomoya ends up seemingly cutting ties with his mother and pursuing school for art, which you know early on is one of his passions. He's working a bunch of odd jobs to kind of make ends meet, but you can see that he's happy. And you see that Aoi is doing her entrance exams for school, and there are other popular kids at school who have bullied her endlessly. And one of the students is like, "Thank God we're going to be out of school soon because I don't want to be around them either." And Aoi realizes that this person, even though they were seemingly friends, was just finding their own way through school. And they even go as far as to say that they admire Aoi for being alone and choosing not to be around those people and be her own person even still. And so it's just a great way to show all of those different perspectives and how you don't know how other people see you. Sometimes the way you're seeing yourself isn't right either. It's just such a touching story. I loved it.
Me too.
It was so good. I'm so glad we both happened to own it.
That was a nice bonus.
It was a nice bonus. So happy with this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I learned there's an anime. So I'm going to probably have to watch it and make sure that it does the manga justice.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure it'll be just as heartbreakingly beautiful.
Maybe that one will make me cry. I feel like I cry more to like movies and shows.
Yeah.
Which is probably funny because you've seen me cry endlessly to different stories. I literally cried to one of them that we'll talk about in the coming weeks. But it just, I don't know. I was a stronger person when I read this book. I had to harden my heart. I knew it was going to break me.
Oh my gosh.
And so on to our next story. This episode must have just been like the heartbreaking story episode because the next one we're talking about is Stranger.
Yeah, which I love Stranger so much. I started reading the novel first and fell in love with the novel and was like, I absolutely have to read this story. It's beautiful. The art in this one is stunning.
Yeah, Stranger is just beautiful. And this is one we've been reading for a while.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out, you were like, I read this novel. You have to read this manga with me or this manhwa with me. And it was just gorgeous.
And then we went back and reread from the beginning for this episode because they came out with now on Manta, they have the full version and the all ages version. So, of course, we had to go back and read the whole thing start to finish again.
I feel like we've been burned so many times in reading stories that are made to be mature series and then reading the all ages version because you never know how much they're cutting out of different context or anything else. Like maybe some important context is pillow talk.
This one, I honestly feel like you probably don't need it.
I agree.
It's not like, it doesn't change the story as much, like in some of them that we've seen before. But
there's a couple.
Oh my gosh, I mean.
Yeah. I will say, don't regret rereading this one from the beginning at all.
Me either.
It is absolutely a beautiful story. For anybody who is unfamiliar, we'll do a really brief overview of the beginning plot. And then we'll probably focus more on the end of the story because Alex and I did taper off from reading it and then just kind of read all of that in one go.
Yes.
So for anyone who's unfamiliar, this story follows Jiho. He is, in the manhwa version, 17. And a huge disclaimer because Alex has mentioned, but in the novel, he's not.
No, in the novel, he is 19 turning 20. In the manhwa version, he is 17 turning 18. We're just going to say it now. It doesn't need to be that way.
No, I don't know why they did this.
And here we go. I'm going to get on my little soapbox.
Do it.
Because in the end, they're having a conversation at a very important part where Gio is having a conversation with a police officer. And he says that he turned 18. And then the police officer says, oh, so you just turned 20. Like, it was translated as 1920 and they changed it. So, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it.
And it was an interesting choice to do so. So in my mind, in this story, if the original novel was written with him being 19 turning 20, that's in my heart.
Yeah.
So just know if you're reading this as the manhwa version, you will probably have the same icky feelings that we had
At the beginning.
at the beginning, but that isn't how it was. And so you got to change it in your head to what the true novel wanted.
And it absolutely is worth it. It follows the novel very closely.
Other than that.
I know, other than that.
Yeah.
I know we, again, have been burned before by manhwas not following the novel super closely.
I don't need to get on my soapbox today about Finding Camellia because it's Alex's birthday.
And it has been a whole week since you've talked about it.
It's never too soon. But we don't have to do that. This story, without that change, is honestly one of the most beautiful stories I've ever read.
I love this one so much. So from the beginning, we have Jiho, and he is living with a older thug who is a criminal who is kind of like a criminal leader. He is also a almost foster parent, I guess. Not really, but he runs a house that children come to when they don't have anywhere else to go. And he feeds them and makes them steal for him. So he turns everyone into pickpocketers. Mm-hmm. And so Jiho is kind of like, he's there, he helps take care of the younger kids, but he's also trying to pay his own way by pickpocketing himself. He does get into a fight with this guy who is Sugyo, and Sugyo knocks him around, and Jiho runs away. So then he goes out, he's kind of wandering around, he doesn't know what to do. He sits down on a curb trying to kind of collect himself and figure out his next steps. And that's where he runs into our other main character, Woo-jung, who is never given a specific age either. They just say late 20s, early 30s probably. Mm-hmm. And he sees Jiho and is like, if you have nowhere else to go, you can come with me. Mm-hmm. And Jiho is like thinking to himself, okay, what am I going to have to give in return for you doing something nice for me? Mm-hmm. And that's the start of the story. I would say that is the season 1.
Yeah, it is a lot of Jiho's apprehension for the entire first season. Mm-hmm. He has a hard time, understandably, based on his life experiences, really fathoming that somebody would possibly give him an opportunity for a roof over his head, food on the table, and not expect anything in return. Mm-hmm. And his feelings are all over the place. He's been horribly abused his whole life.
Yeah.
And while he's kind of trying to come to terms with this, he's also trying to come to terms with what feelings he has towards this stranger known as Woo-jung, who's just helped him out of the kindness of his heart. And there's some resentment about how he feels like life has been good to him, but he very quickly learns that Woo-jung's life has not been good to him, which is why he's specifically stepped in to help Jiho, because he sees some of himself in Jiho. And a lot of the first season is just them kind of coming to terms with, what are you to me? How could you not want or need something from me? Mm-hmm. And is that enough for me?
Yeah.
It is a heartbreaking story, obviously.
It is.
Basically, the two become found family for one another. Mm-hmm. And so throughout the story, you do get to see there are obviously highs and lows, a lot of struggles. Jiho coming to terms with the fact that his feelings for Woo-jung are romantic, and almost forcing in the beginning the romantic relationship, because Woo-jung is pursuing other people actively in the beginning.
Well, and he is very possessive too, so he wants, he is trying to find things that he can be Woo-jung's first of. And he's looking for what he can because he doesn't have anything with anyone else. So he has no other experiences to base all of this on.
Yeah. But they do have a love for one another and an understanding for one another that just other people can't. Mm-hmm. And you see this in moments like when they go to Woo-jung's friend's wedding and you see that he's introduced as his family.
I love that part so much.
It's very touching. The entire series just has some of the most beautiful highs and some of the ugliest lows I've seen.
I know.
And so, you know, a lot of season 2, you get to see those lows. You get to see that even though Jiho has stepped into this new world, found himself a job, has, you know, a nice apartment with Woo-jung. And
starting to make friends.
Yeah.
He enjoys his time with his coworker. Mm-hmm. They talk about what they want to do in the future, and she brings some cookies at one point, and he's never really had like a friend before.
Yeah.
So it's all new for him, but it all comes crashing down when unfortunately there is a construction site next door, and one of the construction workers comes in and recognizes Jiho because he knows him from his old neighborhood, knows his father, and then ends up telling his father where Jiho is. And then his father finds Jiho, sees that he's living this nice life, and kind of comes after him and says, you better give me money because I raised you, and how dare you have nice things.
Yeah. He's gotten himself further in debt. His dad is an addict and a gambler. And I mean, the list of problems goes on. And really, Jiho is just more concerned. Like, he's almost accepted that his dad shows back up and everything is fine, except for the fact that he doesn't want Woo-jung involved.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, this makes sense for me. Like, you see, he almost gets back down on himself, and he's just, accepted that this is how it'll be. But he's like, at all costs, I cannot get Woo-jung involved. I can't let anybody pickpocket him or target him.
He downplays his relationship. He says that he just works there.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his dad that he will get him the money.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's scrambling. He puts together all of his savings from his job that he's had the entire time that he's been living with Woo-jung. He puts together anything that he had left over, and it's not enough to cover what his dad is saying that he needs. And so he tries to think, what can I do to get this money on a quick turnaround? That's usually not something that is going to be on the up and up.
No. And unfortunately, he does end up reaching out to somebody that he used to live in like a group home with,
Mm-hmm.
who had at one point said, oh, I know a place where you can get money fast. I got $1,000 in a night.
Yeah.
And you could just work there and you'll make your money fast. And Jiho had never taken him up on it, knew that it was probably something skeezy, but was like, I don't have any other options. I have to consider it. And you see the desperation starting to build because he's like, what if I just asked Woo-jung for the money? And
then he's like, no, I can't do that.
I can't do that. And I can't let Woo-jung know where I'm going to be. And he's starting to keep things to himself. And he almost sees it as working out for him because Woo-jung is extremely busy. He's been working on a huge case as a prosecutor, and he is kind of gone from the house a lot more. And so Jiho ends up reaching out to his old connection, who goes, yeah, the bar I work at, like, you're not going to get that kind of money. But my boss owns another property, and they have a bar in the basement, and you can absolutely make that kind of cash. And starts kind of going through, like, takes him there, teaches him all these ground rules, is like, hey, just make sure you smile, always be polite, don't turn people down or be rude, and you'll get your money really quick. And it becomes very quickly obvious that there are illicit activities happening here and that it is not an okay place to be.
No.
They have multiple customers who are, funny enough, the thing that they reference is that they're smoking weed. I know that's legal in the US in a lot of different states, but they do also have things that are very obviously not marijuana on the table as well. And some of the customers start degrading Jiho, having him like take money out of their hand by crawling and pretending to be a dog.
Yeah, like with his mouth. And he does it because it's
$1,000.
Yeah, and he's like, I need this. If I take this, then I can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that moment, then he leaves and he runs into the bathroom to just kind of like wash up, and then he's gonna go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of the guys from the room also goes to the bathroom, sees Jiho in there, and propositions him. And then when Jiho says no, tries to attack him and cuts Jiho on the cheek, and Jiho like gets away, and he runs out in a panic, ends up just running into a random room, and he's trying to think of his next steps.
Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, there's a guy sleeping over here. It's fine. I'm just going to stay, on the other end of the booth. And he's obviously freaked out. Adrenaline's running high. He feels gross. Like, immediately the thing that hit me is how quickly he decided to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It was almost like a subconscious, like, I feel gross having done this. And he just needed to do something to get, like, cleanse in some way, shape, or form.
Well, and then too, we know from earlier that he is like a very clean person usually. He keeps everything in the house spotless because he grew up in not clean places.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't want to have that be his surroundings or be around him.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You could see like how it kind of took him back.
Oh my gosh. And reading this in the novel is also like, it's just, you keep reading it and you think like, oh my God, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens and it turns out that the case that Woo Jung is working on is this place, this bar in the basement, and they are there to shut it down, arrest all of the people who work there and all of the people who are going. So they come in and they find out that the guy who Ji-ho thought was sleeping actually overdosed, and now they're taking Ji-ho in. Yeah. And Woo Jung's face when he walks in and sees Ji-ho, I mean, the whole thing is just, like, this is the most heartbreaking scene.
I mean, the trust shattered. You can just see it all on his face. Like, the anger, shocked. The upset.
Yeah.
Like, there's obvious concern immediately. And, you know, he kind of sends a lot of the cops away to go and continue searching other rooms. And he has to work to put Ji-ho under arrest. And then once they get back to the station, he's like, okay, I need to talk to him separately for a minute. And he kind of makes everybody else leave. And they have a truly just heartbreaking conversation where Woo Jung is like, what even am I to you?
Yeah.
Why would you not involve me in this? Like, and Ji-ho's like, I didn't do it. I didn't kill him. I wasn't involved in it for that long. And he's trying to like cut Woo Jung off from just being stinking mad.
Yeah. And Woo Jung is, I would say, more concerned. It comes off as, he's mad too, and it comes off as pure anger. But what he says to Ji-ho is, don't talk to anyone. From this point on, you say nothing. And I'm going to go and get you a lawyer, and we're going to get this figured out. Because I will not have you under arrest for this.
Yeah. And Ji-ho is just concerned about how Woo Jung is seeing him.
Yeah.
He's like, I should have just told him, obviously. We as the reader always know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I should have told him. Hindsight's 20/20. And he goes, I didn't kill him. I didn't do it. And I think the thing that struck the deepest chord with me is that Woo Jung's like, I don't even care if you did it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, I wouldn't let you go to jail either way.
Yeah. It does not matter.
It doesn't matter to me if you did do it. I'm getting you all of these things. Like, you can do wrong things. I want to see everything that you're going through and be there for you, and you wouldn't let me do it. And you just see how bad he's hurting. You see how bad Ji-ho's hurting, having hurt Woo Jung. I mean, the lows are so low.
And it keeps getting worse, too, because then he has his interview with his lawyer. He has to have the interview with the police. And at this point, too, he has to tell about the attack in the bathroom. And Woo Jung at this point is, I mean, you can see in the panel, they show him clenching his hand. And he starts to ask about that guy, like, could you pick him out of a lineup if you were to see him? Because he wants that guy taken down.
He's like, I could only know if I saw him.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have to keep separate for a while. Like, the lawyer's like, hey, you can't let people know that you know Woo Jung.
Or that you live with him.
And that you live with him. Like, that would be extremely bad for him. And Woo Jung kind of stops coming home for a while, even. So, like, it's been an extended period. I think it's, like, over a day. He hasn't been home. And Ji-ho's just supposed to stay at the house and wait for the next steps in case the police need to talk to him again. It'd be a bad look to leave, for sure. And they let him go home, and he's just waiting for Woo Jung. He's like, I need to continue, like, almost like pleading his case.
Yeah.
Asking for forgiveness, trying to explain, because he didn't do so before, which made it so much worse.
Yeah.
And you see, even in his anger, there's still so much care and consideration on Woo Jung's part. Woo Jung comes home, brings him food. Like, Jiho had fallen asleep on the couch and he puts a blanket over him.
He's still taking so much care of him.
Yeah.
Even as he is completely in anger. And he does end up leaving again after that. And so Jiho is just like left to his thoughts and thinking, what can I do to fix this? How can we move forward from here? Why didn't I just trust him? And Woo Jung is thinking the same. Why didn't you just trust me?
Yeah. And we're all thinking, why didn't you just trust him?
So they do eventually talk about it, though, and then at the end, like, kind of the resolve of this is Jiho talking about how he didn't want Woo Jung to have a negative opinion of him because of his dad. He didn't want to have Woo Jung involved with his dad or have any interactions with him or anything like that, and that he just was trying to like shove everything under the rug so that they could move forward. Mm-hmm. And Woo Jung comes at him and says, like, I will take care of any problem that you have. You just have to bring it to me. And all I could think about after I saw you there was like, what if that was you that was the man who overdosed? And he was just devastated by it. Like, this could have been Jiho that was in a bad situation. Yeah. Or a worse situation.
And he wouldn't have been able to help.
Yeah. The guy, though, who he was his connection with that job, did do Jiho right, I would say, because he tells the police and the investigators that he had just told Jiho about that job and that Jiho didn't know what was going on until he got there and saw that it was going on.
Yeah.
And so that kind of helps Jiho's case of he had no idea that this was a long-standing thing. He just went because he was desperate. And so he is let go. Well, he's already home, but they drop all the charges or anything that they were going to give him.
Yeah. And you do also find out that Woo Jung has had contact with Jiho's father.
Yeah.
And Woo Jung says that he's decided he's going to be getting a restraining order on Jiho's behalf. And basically just says, like, you need to trust me, like, from here on out. Like, we need to lean on each other. And so a few days pass, and Jiho is waiting for Woo Jung to come home, is like, oh, he's kind of late. And he looks out the window and sees Woo Jung talking to his father. Mm-hmm. And he goes into a complete blind rage. Yeah. I mean, after everything they've been through, realistically, the person he blames the most is his father. And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And so he storms over. He's like looking for them, and they went into a nearby cafe, and Woo Jung is sitting across from his dad. And in a blind rage, Jiho grabs a knife from like somebody's table while they're eating and goes to try to stab his father.
Now, here is something that's a bit unbelievable about this. Who needs a steak knife in a bakery?
It could be a really fancy bakery. They could serve like steak and eggs. Who are we to say?
Well, so he takes that over though, and Woo Jung stops him, grabs
the sharp part of the knife.
Yeah, and then tells of course the people around are like, oh, we need to call the police, and Woo Jung brings out his badge and he's like, no,
I am the police. No.
I'm the police. I'm a prosecutor. I know this man. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. Go back to your business. And he takes...
To be fair, if I saw that, I'd be like, that's kind of sketchy. Are you not going to take him away in handcuffs or something?
I know this man. It's fine.
I know this man that almost tried to stab somebody. He's all right in my book. But yeah, I mean, there's an upset, and Woo Jung just takes him away from the situation. And Jiho's more upset now that he just hurt Woo Jung.
Yeah. So this sends him into another spiral where he decides that the best course of action is that he is going to leave. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want to hurt Woo Jung. He's reminiscing on his childhood, and he's remembering when his dad was not a bad person before he lost his job, before he started gambling and had all of these addictions. He was a good father. And so Jiho is just worried, like, if bad things happen, am I going to end up like my father?
Am I going to hurt Woojung?
Yeah.
And he ends up leaving.
Yeah.
You know, running away from problems.
Yeah.
Always the best solution.
He leaves the watch behind that Woojung got him for his birthday.
A note that's like, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah. He leaves all the clothes that Woojung has bought him. He takes his old ratty coat from when he was living on the streets before. And he just goes. And he takes a bus to a small town. And when he gets there, he gets off the bus and he almost immediately runs into an auto body shop called Woojung's Auto Body. And they have a sign in the window that says that they're hiring, and he's like, cool, I'm gonna go try and get a job here. And so the lady who works there, she tells him, come back tomorrow, my husband's not here today, we need to make this decision together. And so Woojung asks her for a place to stay, like, where can he go to stay? And then he starts kind of touring the town a little bit just to see. This is in the book as well, and I was so happy to see these wheat fields come to life, because the description in the novel is so good when he goes to, it's like a nature park that he goes
like a
to.
preserve.
Yeah, and the thing that's special about this is that it's walkways, and all around them are these giant golden wheat fields. And so he's having this moment, and when he's there, the only thing that he can think about is, I want to share this with Woojung. And I wouldn't even be thinking that this were beautiful if it weren't for Woojung showing me that there's more to life than just surviving.
And he goes back.
And Woojung is a little pissed again.
Woojung, I loved his reaction. Like, honestly, Woojung is just such a good character.
I love him so much.
He's so, like, snarky. I just, like, he can do no wrong in my eyes. He's a little petty, a little snarky.
Yeah.
He's just perfect.
He's like, did you have a good time on your trip?
Yeah, he's, like, smoking a cigarette. He's like, oh, look who's stumbled back kind of energy. And he's pissed. And Jiho's like, I had a dream, and, you know, I had a dream you killed me. And he's like, yeah, I wanted to. So it's a pretty accurate dream. But he ends up taking Jiho, like, Jiho's like, I want to, like, show you this place. I want to be with you. Let me make it up to you.
And Woojung's like, okay, let's go right now.
Yeah.
So they go.
And he's exhausted.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And they drive to, like, a hotel that's on the way, and they don't exactly make it to the destination. They, you know, obviously realize that they're together now. And Jiho is just happy that he can be accepting of the relationship. Woojung's happy that he can finally be accepting of the relationship. And they do go and, like, explore around and enjoy the sights together.
When they're at the hotel, too, Woojung gives his watch back, and he's like, never take this off again. I put a tracking app on it.
I related to this so much. He's like, how am I supposed to know where you are if you need me if I don't have a way to know where you are or if you need me? And it's so funny because my husband and I share our locations with each other all of the time.
Yeah.
So hear that, podcast listeners. If I ever go missing, my husband will know. So we do that because we both are worrywarts and we're constantly afraid that something's going to happen to the other. Whereas apparently there are couples who don't do that. And honestly, you can weigh in, but I'm not sure which one's the more normal one.
I don't know either.
So yeah, let us know. Send us an email, send us a message on socials. I want to know which one you think is the more normal thing.
Yeah.
To share your location with your partner because you're paranoid or to not.
Yeah. Where's
So.
the mystery?
I don't want the mystery to be in my safety. Let the mystery be in my manhwa, not in my real life.
if I go missing, I want my husband to have something to do.
You want him out there with like pictures and little strings tying everything together with clues.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So he shares his location.
He shares his location. He's got the tracking app on the watch like normal, sane couples do.
Mm-hmm. And Jiho is like, all right, but you have to do it too.
Yeah, which, fair.
Yeah.
It would be weird if it's one way.
Yeah. So they go to this field, and when they're there, Woo-jung tells him that he's going to adopt Jiho so that they can be tied together. Mm-hmm. I've seen this in other stories as well, because gay marriage is not legal, that one person would adopt the other person.
And it's not because he's only 18 years old.
Yeah. No, because
they do it as adults.
It was in Spring is the Color of Love.
Yeah, they did.
They do it there too. So, and they're the same age.
Yeah.
So it's just to tie themselves to each other so
Some
that
way
legally they're seen as family. So
that's really the end.
Yeah, that's the end of the main story. Then
Yeah.
we get some bonus episodes, which I love the bonus content. The bonus content also sticks really closely to the novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everything from the novel. There is more different bonus stories there. But these are some of the bonus stories from it, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
We get to see Woo-jung and Jiho move into a bigger house, kind of settle into themselves, and we get to see Jiho goes to school. He wants to work at an auto shop. We get to see them go on vacation. They go on the cutest little summer vacation ever. We get to see Jiho go into the military.
Yeah.
And Woo-jung living on his own without him. They're both missing each other.
And then we have my favorite side stories, which are when Woo-jung, while Jiho is away in the military, meets up with his friends. And you find out that he called in a favor from one of his friends.
Yeah.
Because she worked at a bank and he wanted all of Jiho's bank records.
This was when he ran away.
When he ran away.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's illegal. And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've given you information before.
I wouldn't be asking you if it were legal.
Yeah, exactly.
And she gets it for him. And then at this point, she's kind of like, what did you do with that? Like, whatever happened?
He's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. And then at the end, Jiho gets them rings.
Yeah.
Matching couples rings.
Jiho gets them rings. And you also get to see the first scenes from Woo-jung's perspective. So you get to see him drive up. Well, it's almost like a flashback scene. So
Yeah.
you see Woo-jung driving. He's going to pick Jiho up because they're going to go on a date. But he's driving down the same road where they met.
He's sitting in the same spot. And so he's reminiscing.
Yeah. And you see that Woo-jung almost didn't turn around, but was hearing the words of his mentor in his head saying, like, what I'm doing for you, I want you to do for someone else someday.
Yeah.
And so he rolls down the window and you see just the parallels between the two situations and how similar yet how different they are.
Thing.
Yeah.
Intentionally. He's like, if you have nowhere to go, you can come with me.
And you just see Jiho smile at the end.
It's beautiful.
I would do a mic drop, but that would be really loud for everybody. So I'm doing it in
Air mic drop.
Yeah, air mic drop.
There is, I mean, in the Chibis.
The Chibis are adorable.
In the Chibis, there is a scene where Woo-jung gets rid of the ratty coat too. I love that.
I love this series.
It's
beautiful. It's enchanting.
And let's just talk about the Chibis for a minute.
You love the Chibis.
These are probably my favorite Chibis ever.
I mean, how can you say that? There are so many Chibis.
I know, but they're just so cute.
I do believe you. You talk about them all the time.
The eyes, because Jiho has his big doe eyes and Woo-jung has just the pure black cat eyes, and he's always like smirking. I saw in one of the afterwards that in the Chibis, Jiho was based off a cat and Woo Jung's was based off a panther. And I just love it.
I will say there is one specific chibi panel throughout the entire reread that caught my eye, and I took a screenshot of it. And it's when they moved into their new house, and Woo Jung's laying down just, like, exhausted on the floor, and they don't have all their furniture, and he chooses to be on the floor instead of the sofa. And then Jiho, like, plops his sweatshirt on him like a little blanket and lays down next to him, and it is the cutest.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I also love the one where it's the first time that they're together, and when Jiho takes off his pants, Woo Jung sees that Jiho is wearing the underwear that he bought him. It's like bright blue. And he's like, oh, you like those?
This whole story, I mean, it is heart-wrenching. It is genuinely hard to read at certain points because it gets pretty, unfortunately, ugly.
Yeah.
But it is just absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful. I'll never recover.
I won't either. It's so good. I'm glad that we finished this one. One, because we'll get to talk about it even more when we do an end of year wrap up.
Yes.
But also, it needed to happen. This is one we've been doing, continuously. So
yeah.
It's very cathartic to see a story that you love end well and follow the novel super closely.
As God intended.
As God himself intended, or herself, who's to say. I love it.
I do too.
It's perfect.
And now you have to show me all of the screenshots that you saved.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love them. I won't make everybody else listen to it though. So thank you all so much for joining us and listening into this one. Definitely feel free to reach out to us on socials. Let me know if I'm crazy for tracking my husband.
Or if I'm crazy for never knowing where mine is.
Or if you do have any story suggestions, we love getting them from you all. We have read some on suggestions before, and it is always worked out for us. So there you go. But thank you all so much for joining us, and looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.